everyone, and welcome to Active Citizens Parliament. Once again, I'm here on a good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on our time zone. There's so much trending news in Nigeria going on right now, so they had to push me back to the studio for me to give you some of these. But we need to understand that we are not just talking about the troubles and the issues in Nigeria. We're looking at the situation and the solution, the possible solution, which we are bringing the alternative for people to key in to the issue of signing the petition that is always by the description of our videos. Sign this petition to fix INEC. But let me start with the issue that is on ground. As you know, gunmen did attack Senator Natasha Akpoti's family residence. As the report came in, they said that the unknown hoodlums, gunmen armed with both cutlasses and firearm, reportedly attacked the family residence of Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan in the early hours of Tuesday. Now, the issue is getting out of hand, and people are really saying what is really wrong with the issue of Akpoti. So much issues going on. So let's look at the intelligence sources that are coming out right now. The attack, they said, occurred at about 1 a.m. And they said about 3 armed individuals were involved in vandalizing the building, including shattering windows and panes. The incident, they said, was promptly reported by the senator's security officer. However, let's take even a listen to how the mainstream media treated this issue, as there is another issue and allegation of coming out from Yahaya Bello, the ex-governor of Benue State, who is threatening fiercely to arrest Natasha. Let's take a listen to what the crew on Arise TV had to say about this. Then we'll come back. We have a lot to discuss.
An assassination against her. The former governor insists the senator's remarks violate Section 24(1)B of the Cyber Crimes Act of 2015. I mean, we have been following this story, Adefemi Akinsoya. I mean, when this Yahaya Bello's petition came up online, there were, mixed reactions. Should I take one reaction before I come to you? Sure. And this person wrote on X, Yahaya Bello, facing serious allegations of embezzling billions in public funds, now wants to prosecute a sitting senator. The irony is loud. Oh, loud gone. He should face justice, not distract from it. I mean, I thought that was quite a cheeky joke. But that sort of conversation was online. Like, are you the one now prosecuting people? But everyone is entitled to defend themselves. Yeah. Go ahead, no matter what.
Is Yahaya Bello entitled to defend himself?
Question and answer.
Okay. Well, what I think we need to do here is actually, in all seriousness,
yes.
I think it is quite preposterous for Yahaya Bello to be saying anything other than facing his front, really. I think that when you find yourself in a situation like this, you've got too much business to mind than to be minding what somebody else is saying. So yes, I can understand and to some extent sympathize with accusations being put against you that you believe are untrue.
Yes.
But you've got far too much to be focusing on, especially when it comes to accusations of embezzlement,
yes,
than to be worrying about Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. I think you need to face your front, Yahaya Bello.
Tells Yahaya to face his front. And defamation is a serious problem. But I mean, it's not as serious as embezzlement. That's what that's what
there's no way near
saying.
As serious.
A quick comment, and then I move to the next story.
The other, there's a lot happening behind the scenes, yes, because there is also speculation, yes, that is rife that he's trying to see how he can vie for that particular senatorial district, yes, as well in the future. So, yes, it's expected. This is unfortunately how politics is played often is in these types of things. Listen, in the issues before the courts, and there's currently a court order, I believe, just stopping discussion specifically between Senator Natasha and Senator Akpabio
yes,
from speaking on this issue. But Yahaya Bello was also mentioned in that. A number of other names were also mentioned, and they're absolutely entitled to come up and say that we shouldn't be in this conversation. But what is not, it doesn't take away from the fact that we know the undertones of this conversation are now around the potential of Yahaya Bello possibly going from being a former governor to becoming a senator of this Kogi, is a central constituency.
You know that the story is unfolding, is developing. We will follow up on the story as always. Shall we head over?
Well, as at this time, Senator Otu Duagan, who of course we know as a prominent political figure in Kogi Central Senatorial District, have not issued any public statement regarding both the incident at her family house, the attack that we talked, and also the issue of Yahaya Bello coming on board. So there's so much going on for her right now. But, you know, people are of the opinion that she is going to scale through all of this because, you know, she has been doing it over time and she's succeeding. Now, let's again look at the other issues coming up today. As you know, Chief Bola Tinubu is, everybody is asking him to come back because Nigeria is in a full-blown state of emergency. Go to comment section and tell us if Nigeria is not in a full-blown state of emergency when we hear so much people dying in Plateau, so much people dying in Benue State, and so much issues just around everywhere. Now, we know that about how many weeks ago, on April 2nd precisely, Chief Bola Tinubu flew out to France, had this absurd announcement come just a day earlier. Nigerians will have dismissed it as an April Fool's joke. But sadly, it is no prank. Just another insult to a nation pushed to the brink of a presidency that retreats its citizens like fools. What is the official excuse? A so-called working visit. But Nigerians are not buying that spin. The presidency scrambled to clarify that it wasn't a medical trip. How noble. But even if it is not a medical tourism, what justification is there for him gallivanting across Europe while Nigeria bleeds? What kind of leader borrows billions only to bow scarce funds on vanity trips abroad? It is not just irresponsible, it is contemptuous. Let the facts speak for themselves. By the time Tinubu strolls back from his latest escapade from France, he will have raked up a staggering 59 days in France since assuming office. As if to say, "Na see Paris and die." Paris that he goes anytime. See, just Paris, abandon your country. Now, while Tinubu dies under chandeliers in the land of good governance, the country is governed, is spiraling into chaos. Plateau has turned into a killing field. Over 100 lives lost in relentless attacks. Benue is bleeding. Boko Haram is seizing territory. And every single day, Nigerians sink deeper into poverty, insecurity, and despair. This is not just negligence. It is dereliction of duty on a catastrophic scale. If Tinubu had even a shred of empathy, he will cut his trip too short and return immediately. A leader with an ounce of patriotism will not need to be begged to show up in times of crisis. We hear news coming out yesterday about Peter Obi telling him to come down. The Constitution says the security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government. But under Tinubu, that sacred duty has been trashed. Let's be honest. There is absolutely nothing Tinubu is doing in France that he could not do in Lagos. Even in that his mansion in Lagos. Or in his village, Arigbiji. This so-called working visit is nothing more than a vacation cloaked in official jargon. Nigeria is in a full-blown state of emergency, not a contrived political emergency like what Tinubu declared in Rivers for partisans' gain. It is a national collapse. So when exactly will Tinubu declare a state of emergency on his own presidency? A disaster that is a presidency. Well, we are not the only one talking about this. We had the privilege of seeing the one of His Excellency P2B, and also our people in the mainstream media, like the Arise crew, they also talked about this. Let's take a listen to them and we'll come back.
How much people will die before you can think of coming back to the country and at least show your presence? Maybe 150 is not enough. Maybe more people die because
Party leader Peter Obi has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to suspend his retreat in France and address the escalating insecurity in Nigeria. Peter Obi made the appeal in a post on X, highlighting the surge in killings and abductions, particularly in Plateau and Benue states during Tinubu's absence. His tweet reads in part, "In the 2 weeks you have been away, over 150 Nigerians have lost their lives to insecurity across Nigeria, especially in Plateau and Zamfara states. The repeated pipeline explosions in the Niger Delta further reflect a nation in distress. In the northeast, Borno state leaders are bemoaning the return of insurgency, with troops and civilians being killed randomly. In the southeast, the story is the same: killings and abduction. Amid all these, the CEO of the troubling company called Nigeria is retreating far away land in France from company's headquarters. The primary duty of any government is securing the lives and property of its citizens, and one wonders the type of retreats going on in another country where peace has been secured by their leaders while blood continues to flow in our country. The fight for a better Nigeria is not about individuals. It's about ensuring that every citizen can see, feel, and benefit from the policies and decisions of those in power. I therefore like to urge Mr. President to quickly suspend whatever he is doing in France and rush home to take responsibility by addressing these disturbing issues. That is the new Nigeria that the nation seeks." I mean, that, again, is another strong opposition voice. You know, I like to amplify these sort of conversations. I mean, what are your thoughts with the two stories? I would like for you to start with Peter Obi's call for President Tinubu to return home.
I have a question for President Tinubu this morning. What is the life of one Nigerian worth to you? And how many people more will be killed that'll make you feel, oh, I need to come back home, even if just for the optics? President Tinubu has been in France all this while for his working visit, retreat, whatever he calls it. And we've been hearing people die. And all he has done is the presidency issue condemnation. So I ask him, you asked for the mandate of the people. You were the one that said you wanted to lead the country. How much people will die before you can think of coming back to the country and at least show your presence? Maybe 150 is not enough. Maybe more people die, because that number has even grown.
Yes.
You know why? Today we're seeing in the papers, they were complaining of Benue, local government, 11 people died. So maybe if it gets to 200 or 500, that's why we say leadership is missing, and we expect better from President Tinubu. Just like we say leadership is missing. The police IG went to an area where something happened. Based on Ferdinand Duro, our journalist there, which we believe and his credibility, says that he didn't visit Bassa. He stayed in Jos and gave a speech.
Why?
So why would you do that? Why didn't you go and commiserate with people and even hear? And as a police chief, don't you know that when you get there, the people will be able to tell you one or two things and give you one or two intelligence that you can use in a ameliorating situation. We thought you going there would have been a proper reconnaissance. God, they will tell you some things, you will gather more intelligence.
Yeah.
But nothing has been done. Just like I also want to bring one case to the IG. The case of the man we took in Kwara State. Because of somebody holding money was kept in incarceration and he died in incarceration.
Yes.
We've talked about that case here. Since the day the IG visited and said something will be done, we've not heard anything. So you can see when we say government is faltering and is failing. My question to you, President Tinubu, is how many much more people will die? Maybe you can respond to us and tell us the number of people that will die for you to say, I will leave France and come back and cut short my visit. 500, 1,000. I know your presidential aide and spokesperson will respond to me today.
All right.
But I also hope they will give me a number of the number of people that will die before you can return to Nigeria.
Okay. Vimbai.
So the talk is going on everywhere. Some people might say it's talk, talk, talk. We need to start taking action. And the action we need to start taking is by signing up the petition to fix INEC. Because currently, we may not be able to do anything. But we have that very window of time to make sure that there is an electoral reform. There's a talk going around the National Assembly, and they're still playing with us. Sign the petition that you have the link there that is to fix INEC and will fix Nigeria. But let me quickly talk on something that we discussed earlier in the day, and some people are reaching out to me about, don't talk about the North, don't talk about the Boko Haram stuff, don't talk about the killings and all of that, concentrate on the issue. Let me tell you, it is all boils down to the issue of leadership. But I will address it one more time. The Sultan of Sokoto is deflecting blame. The recent statement he made about the social media, or labeling social media as a terrorist organization, he raises eyebrow, not just from us here, from everywhere. Is this a genuine concern or a calculated move to deflect attention from what is happening in Nigeria right now about the real terrorists plaguing Nigeria? We just listened to what Arise News just summarized. But it appears that the Sultan's towards social media stems from his exposure of Fulani herdsmen banditry activities. Those benefiting from insecurity often fear the media's power and will condemn it to protect their own interests. Meanwhile, Fulani herdsmen and Boko Haram have wreaked havoc on Nigerian communities, destroying properties and claiming thousands of lives. Now, for the Sultan of Sokoto, rather than condemning the media, he should focus on finding solutions to the crisis that is plaguing the North. The Northern priorities really are questionable. It sparks concern about their potential connection to this very terrorism that is happening in the North. The situation demands urgent attention, and seeking international military assistance may be necessary to resolve the peace and security across Nigeria. Only Tinubu will decide and leave Rivers State alone. If we need to declare a state of emergency, we should be looking at Plateau. That how people, the lives are in each day is being counted, dead bodies are being counted. Look at Benue, look at Zamfara, where terrorists has already set up roadblocks even to collect toll fare. So much going on, and we are here talking about the leader not being in town. Let's hope he comes back today, since everybody is talking about it. But I will continue to say we are not here to lament about Nigerian problem every day. We come out here to share with you the problems in Nigeria and the solution. And the solution is electoral reform. 2027 is already here. We have seen campaigns going on at different quarters. In Benin City, we see billboards across the nation, billboards springing up 2027. And we are here seated. Have you thought for once, how is my vote going to count? Or are you ready to take 10K or 20K against selling your votes? And then enter into another suffering. What we seek is the solution. And the solution is electoral reform. How is that going to happen? It will happen by you signing a petition by Mandate 4. Let's take a listen to the founder of Mandate 4 on talking about the issue, the reason why we need to sign up this petition in order to change Nigeria. To fix INEC means to fix Nigeria. Let's take a listen to Century Favor.
I hope you're having a very good day or night. If you're watching this video, I want to challenge you to speak up to reform INEC. The reality is that until we get to a point where when you vote, your vote counts, the current political elite, they don't need you. You can rant, you can protest, you can do anything on Twitter, or you can shout. They won't need you because they already own the system. The system does not currently work. Right now, there's a small window, a 2-month window, where you can speak up and reform INEC, because a committee is currently sitting at the Senate, deliberating on amendments to the Electoral Act and also on the Constitution. We've submitted a 20-page document that contains radical amendments. In the next 30 days, I'm going to be sharing with you what we have in those amendments that we've submitted to the Senate. Sign the petition, speak up in the next 30 days to reform INEC.
Okay, and that is Century Favor right there, telling us the window. I mean, how long we have to make this happen. I challenge you just like he's challenging you. Nigeria is ours. We need to, to basically, through our communities, make sure that all from the ward to the local government to even the polling units, that we sign up this petition. The reason we keep saying we need a solution by fixing INEC so that our votes will count. When we are voting, we're checking our device and we are seeing that the vote we just casted has landed in IREV. Let's not forget about the Beavers malfunction. Let's not forget too soon about the Form EC8As that are being doctored and pre-arranged result sheets. Let's not forget about that. They are all waiting for us again in 2028. We need to act now. Please, click the link that is in this very video at the description and go to Mandate 4 Fix INEC form and fill that very petition. That is your contribution. That is as much as you can do. You can also share this video so that many people in Nigeria, the young, will see them and sign up this petition so that that electoral reform we are talking about must happen. It is possible, but we have to fight for it. And that is what we are doing. We must not, there's what we call a silent protest. And that is what we are doing. When we are able to secure between 5 million petitions, you see what our voice would have been amplified both at the Green Chamber and the Red Chamber of the National Assembly. So please, wherever you are, share this video, like it. If this is the first time you are watching, please subscribe, because this is Active Citizens Parliament, where we'll be talking about solutions, and solutions. The problems we'll bring, but we'll position more on the solutions for Nigerians. Until when I come your way again, for now, bye.